Okay, so there's me and Mark and Emma and Ollie. Emma is 9, going on 14, and Ollie is Ollie.
Ollie Schimanski was born with one of the rarest genetic conditions in Aotearoa, New Zealand, Sanfilippo syndrome.
The prevalence is 1 in 70,000 births.
Sanfilippo is a form of childhood dementia causing cognitive decline and a shortened lifespan.
I'm not going to see him, going through high school or driving a car or getting married or anything like that. You've got to appreciate every moment that you can.
Hi, come in and meet Ollie. This is my brother Ollie. He is 7 years old, but he's turning 8 on the 19th of April. He loves going on motorbikes and tractors, things like that. He also really likes grabbing stuff and pulling it. When he was a baby, he was probably better than what he was now, and he's just going to get younger but older. You want to go back to sleep, don't you? Here you go.
So Ollie has Sanfilippo syndrome. He has type B. Essentially what it is that he is missing the enzyme that breaks down sugars, and instead of this particular sugar, which is called heparan sulfate, getting out of the body, it builds up and deposits mainly in the brain and in some other places, but it causes fatal brain damage. So Sanfilippo is more like terminal dementia.
The way it goes typically is that kids will develop relatively normally up until a certain age, around 3 or 4 or something like that. And then you sort of plateau in terms of development. And then after that, the kids start to decline and start to forget things and start to lose the ability to do certain things.
Hey, get up, good boy. Good boy.
He is very much like a 6-month-old.
Yeah.
Good boy.
We have to dress him in the morning, so he can't dress himself.
He is not toilet trained, so he needs help with toileting. He can feed himself. If it's finger food, he'll help himself. Used to be able to use utensils, a fork and a spoon, but he's not very good with those anymore. He prefers to throw them and just use his hands.
He's already given us a few indications of the eating becoming a problem, because with Sanfilippo, swallowing is a big problem.
I think we expect him to lose more abilities. He'll forget how to feed himself, probably forget how to eat and walk.
Come on, mister. The school has made it really clear that they would like to have Ollie for as long as they can, which is really lovely, and that's really cool for Emma to still have her little brother at school, and it's really neat for Ollie to be in a place where kids have the ability to understand him and adapt to his behaviour. And I think the school thinks that it's awesome to have Ollie because it's really good for the other kids to understand that not all kids are the same.
When Ollie first came to St Mary's, he was like a little tornado. He was always on his feet, he was running, wanting to explore things, touch things, break things, eat things. What are we going to do today? This will be my 3rd year with Ollie. He's definitely slowed down, and he's become non-verbal as well. So when he first started, he was able to identify objects, say names, a couple of word sentences. Now it's just come to sounds.
Molly.
Molly, is that right? Sometimes if I just mimic his noise, it will get louder, and then, yeah. Hey. Up here. I've worked with him so long. I know what he's going to do next. Well, I think I know what he's going to do next. Hey, bud. Hey. I just follow him around. Where are you taking me? For his safety.
Sanfilippo kids are very good at, how do you put it, changing their focus quickly.
Ollie is especially good at finding the one thing that you don't want him to find, like a knife.
Oh, scissors. Oh, no. That's our friend's work. So Mr. Liley was Ollie's teacher last year. He still recognised him and connects with him. I take him swimming for an activity for us to do, and also a type of physiotherapy just to try and get his hips moving, his knees going and his joints going, because that will be part of his condition too, is he'll be loss of muscle mass and then won't be able to walk. So if we can keep him mobilised as much as we can, that'd be good for him. So he just loves the water. Can you help me make the smoothie? Where's your bananas? If he got to the point he stopped eating where he couldn't chew, I can try and give him a smoothie so he had some type of food. There we go. Here you go. But that would be a concern down the track, would be his eating. Should we do a good batch today? I love being around Ollie. He's just... Oh, I'm gonna get emotional. No, I don't know. It's just something that I've got with Ollie. We've got this little connection and bond, and I just enjoy the moment that I have with him and take it day as it comes. Yeah. And not think about his condition and how it's gonna rob him and his family.
We know that while it's hard now, he will lose the ability to run, walk. So we have to enjoy him while he can still do this stuff.
Okay.
Because it will get a lot worse for him. Like last week at school, last Friday, he couldn't walk. So he was in a wheelchair all day because he just couldn't hold himself up. And we don't know why that was, but he came right when he got home. But obviously, sometimes he's not going to be able to do that, and I'm fairly certain that that will become more common, and he will need a wheelchair at some point. So, yes, it's really tough now, but I think it's going to get tougher for him.
You okay?
No.
He was hilarious. Funniest little kid, chubbiest cheeks, didn't sleep.
Ollie did not like sleeping.
He did not like sleeping.
That was always a challenge.
He didn't sleep for about 18 months.
He didn't care that he didn't sleep. Yeah, that was Mum and Dad's problem. He was always up for a party. We always had a suspicion that something was up with Ollie. He was a little bit slow with his development, never could quite pick up what it was. Specialists picked up that he had a bit of hearing loss.
And then his speech didn't improve after getting the hearing aids. I mean, it got to a certain point, and then he just didn't really ever get any better. And then our paediatrician had seen something similar before, I think, so she knew what kind of testing to do. And then she called us in January 2022 and said, can you guys come up to the hospital? We've got some news about Ollie and it's not good.
Basically, it was no good news. It was all bad. Basically saying that Ollie was probably already at his peak of development, and that it was only going to get worse sort of from then, which you know, breaks your heart, and it's horrible.
So I think we probably were a bit blown away by the fact that we've basically been told that our kid's going to die, and probably didn't hear too much else, really.
The best way, I suppose, people have described it is like a childhood dementia. At the moment, there is no cure for this because there isn't a way to replace the gene that's not working, which would be one thing. The other thing people have looked at is trying to stop the damaging substances accumulating, and there's been work on that, but at the moment, not to the degree that it would make enough difference to be worthwhile.
We're really lucky to get Anne as a paediatrician.
She managed to put the pieces together, and I think potentially we still may not have a diagnosis or a misdiagnosis, because it is so rare. Like, you don't, I mean, I don't think doctors like in the hospital see this. The prevalence is 1 in 70,000 births, but in New Zealand there might be 2 other children living with Sanfilippo.
And as well, because it is a life-limiting disease that lots of kids don't grow into adulthood, so that's why there's not so many cases left in New Zealand, is because they're just not living anymore. Most kids with Sanfilippo live into their 2nd decade, which is pretty variable. You know, kids could live until they're 11 or 19. It does really depend on the subtype that the kid's got and a bunch of other stuff. I mean, having a diagnosis doesn't make it all go away, but it definitely helps with taking away a lot of the uncertainty. It allows you to sort of be at peace with what's happening a little bit. What are you making?
I'm making marzipan.
Used to have pretty good hand-eye coordination, motor skills.
I could climb the ladder and hammer nails into the fence. When you look back on those things, the sadness comes from the lost potential, because before we had the diagnosis, I mean, we saw strength in Ollie that, you know, you could see him growing up to do certain things or be certain things. To see him go backwards is just devastating, really, yeah.
Everyone said it was only going to get worse, so might as well enjoy it while you can. Good boy. Down through there. He's always loved bikes, and you know, every time I pull out a bike or if we go near someone else's, he'll try and climb on. It doesn't matter if it's 10 sizes too big for him. He's always into it. Let's go, Ollie. He's a big fan of going fast, loves going fast, whether it's on a push bike or a motorbike or on a roller coaster. He never really knew how to brake. He's slowly deteriorating and getting worse at riding his bike, but we try and keep doing it. Go, Indy, off you go. Now he just needs a bit of help getting up the hills, and sometimes he gets off balance a little bit, so he needs a bit of a correction. Good job, mister. Yeah, I think he enjoys it still. What have you learned about yourself in the process of parenting?
That I'm good at some things and I'm not good at other things.
What are you good at?
I'm good at loving my kids.
Can you see Indy? Where's Indy?
I think that you're more resilient than you'll ever know. You can cope with lots of shit being thrown at you and still be relatively positive. But then sometimes you don't actually want to be resilient, you just want to be sad and not have to cope with everything. I've learnt that it's really important to prioritise my mental health as well, and that I think our relationship is pretty strong. And that's, yeah, really important, especially when we have to deal with what we've got to deal with.
I learnt that lack of sleep is a very credible form of torture. I've learnt that cold food is better than no food. I think it's surprising how much joy you can get from a smile or a laugh or a giggle.
And I guess with Ollie, like, we're going back to that. And so the littlest things to get a giggle out of him.
Yeah.
And it brings so much joy, because to see him giggle, we just go, yeah. You sometimes think about what life would be like without him. You don't even want to contemplate it, because it brings us so much joy.
One of Ollie's favourite things was going over to my parents' farm and going with my dad on the tractor, and then he'd ride on the motorbike, and he'd hang around with Dad all day on the farm, and yeah, he loved it. Say hello, cow.
There's a lot of cow here, Dad.
They're baby cows.
Mommy cow.
Since Dad's gone, now we obviously still come visit Mum. So you can come and stretch your legs now. Go!
He loves running around, he loves tutoring with things.
What are you getting into, mister?
He used to be very observant and he watched what you're doing. He's got, like his grandfather there, a very mechanical brain, and so if he watched you doing something, he would remember how to do it. So if you left your keys anywhere, he would just get the keys when you weren't looking, out the door, into the garage, and then you'd hear the car start up, because Ollie would be, he knew where the keys went, he knew how to start the car. I don't think he could do that anymore.
He's absolutely obsessed with Grumpy, who was Mark's dad. Yeah. Your dad's funeral, he goes, I want to go on the motorbike. It was quite amusing.
Do some driving on it. I think he still has a bit of an obsession with cars. I don't know what it is, but he was always very good at identifying someone's car. So he'd always spot your dad's. If there was any other V-dubs around, oh, that's Papa's car over there. Yeah, he
Doesn't do that anymore.
he doesn't do that anymore. No.
Did you go to the farm? See the tractors. I first met Ollie when he was a little baby, and he was the smiliest little baby. We used to have lots of conversations about various things like tractors and diggers, and miss his little voice. Miss hearing you chatting away.
Anybody home? Ring, 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 ring.
Ring.
Ring, ring. Hello, can I speak to Ollie? So I found this recording of Ollie when he could say Gracie.
Say hello, Gracie.
Hello, Gracie. Hello, Gracie.
You've always been one of his favourite people. Yeah.
I need a forward bed. Not in the car, you do not.
It's cool to be able to remember the kid that had so much personality and joy in him. Exactly. What is that? Chicken. Sometimes you still get to see that joy, but it's sad that he can't really express that to us as well as he used to be able to.
Mommy.
There's Mommy. It's so unpredictable, and you can't possibly know what he's going to be like in 3 months' time because things change really quickly.
Next one.
We have noticed, though, that he is not able to walk down steps so well. So that's a bit of a challenge with the house that we're currently in.
Do the next one.
I think definitely the ability to walk will become much harder. He will lose more cognitive ability, so his ability to communicate and understand what we're doing will decline. I want him to be as happy as he possibly can and not be in pain. I think that's really important because he won't be able to tell us. So I don't even know how we figure that out, but just to make his life as enjoyable as possible.
Is there any piece of advice that you wish that you'd had before you had kids?
Oh, nobody tells you how hard it is. Everyone tells you how amazing it is, and it is amazing. But definitely just learning to appreciate every single moment and not worrying about, you know, work and all the other stuff.
There you go. I know that Ollie's not going to live forever. I'm not going to see him, you know, going through high school or driving a car or getting married or anything like that. And to know that as horrible as it is, it means that you know that bad things are coming, and you've got to appreciate every moment that you can.
We try and make every effort we can now to enjoy the little moments because we do know that they're limited. Can't make him get better, we can't fix him, we can't make him live longer, so we may as well just make his life awesome.
1, 2,